All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Devin Fry with Valley News Now. We're not going to waste any time with this one. NBC has a special report right now on the shooting of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, reportedly shot at an event at a Utah university. We're going to go live to this special report by NBC right now. We'll be right back here as soon as this wraps up.
Did it come from behind you?
Yeah, it sounded like it came from behind me. I couldn't be 100% sure. I have some permanent hearing loss.
Yeah.
But that's what it sounded like to me, that it came up from behind me.
What did you think when you saw Charlie get hit? I mean, it's such a terrible thing to have to witness.
It seemed very surreal. Like it wasn't real. I mean, like you're like watching it from another point of view, that you're not really there.
Were you there as a supporter, somebody that wanted to talk to him, debate him? What brought you to the event?
No, I just wanted to watch. I love Charlie Kirk. I watch a lot of his videos. I mean, I don't agree on everything, but there's a lot of points I like. And then I also learn a lot from the more of the liberal left side, because I do like to know their point of view too, because I like to have that open mind. And so I was just kind of there to be able to see it in live and be able to hear, you know, the back and forth.
What was the temperature of the crowd? I mean, were people excited there? We were hearing it was a lot of supporters, mostly supporters.
We were having a lot of fun. Yeah, there was a lot of supporters there. A lot of people wearing the MAGA hats.
Yeah, what kind of security presence did you notice around Charlie? Any at all?
There was no security going in. They didn't even check it for look at tickets. He had security team. There was some police officer, but it didn't feel like it was a very large presence.
Yeah, and then after the shot and he goes down, do you hear sirens? Do police say anything? Is there any kind of screaming to get out?
You know, the screaming I heard to get out sounded more like it was from the crowd. And as we were running, because normally how he came down, because they had an area that was blocked off for just basic Charlie and a security and that. And so we weren't supposed to be down there, but that's how we all ran out, was through that way. I saw a couple cops with their pistols kind of drawn, but they weren't like pointed at anybody in per se. They just kind of had their guns out holding them. And then as I was leaving, there was a lot of police coming into the campus.
You know, some other eyewitnesses we had spoken to said they had noticed the elderly man that was taken into custody that had been apparently arrested for this shooting. Police have confirmed that they have a suspect in custody. Did you notice, I don't know if you've seen the video on social media of the takedown, but had you noticed this man?
I didn't notice him. I was there when it was fairly sparse as far as the crowd, because I got there early, because I wanted to be up front. So by the time I looked around, there was tons of people, and I can't say that I saw him.
And then finally, your friends, did you go solo, or were you there with friends or family?
Solo.
Solo. Did people seem to get out okay? It didn't look like anybody else was hurt in the exit, or because I know there were fears of people getting trampled.
Yeah, it was just one shot.
No, but in the exit, in the running away of the event.
Oh, run out? Nope. I mean, I got stepped on a little bit. I had sandals on, and they fell off, but I was able to grab them and run. It wasn't anything that was dangerous getting out of there. Yeah,
and then again, this we know this area, this part of Utah, from what we heard from other eyewitnesses, very friendly to Charlie Kirk and to the MAGA movement, to President Trump. How surprised were you that this happened right in front of your eyes?
You know, I kind of had like I was hoping that there would have been better security, just because you never know, because there are wackadoodles out there, and, you know, and who knows where they're coming from. You know, they could be coming in. I mean, just because Utah is usually a safe state doesn't mean that somebody from, that's going to just come in, or he may have been from Utah. Who knows? I was just really disappointed in the actual security part of it.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. In getting out, once you were able to get out of the amphitheater, were you able to get back to your car or get back to however you got there, the bus, whichever way you was? Because we're seeing like sort of a massive perimeter by law enforcement.
Yeah, I got out real just fine. I mean, I parked a little ways away because the parking for non-students was just a little paid parking. And it was just a little bit of a trek, but it wasn't that bad of a deal. But it wasn't right there, so I felt. Once I got past a few buildings, I felt fine.
Okay, Ray Don DeShane, we thank you for joining us here in our special coverage as we cover what's happened there at Utah Valley University. An incredible scene there that's happened, a terrible and sad scene as well. As we approach the top of the hour, we're getting close to 4 p.m. on the east here, 2 p.m. in Utah, where the conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been hospitalized after he was shot while he was speaking at Utah Valley University. The school said Kirk was removed from the area by a security team, and videos online and verified by NBC News appear to show Kirk recoiling after he was shot, blood pouring from his neck and or chest. The university also alerted students, saying a suspect is in custody. We want to play for you now the moment of that shooting. Watch it here.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
You could hear it there. We froze the moment when he recoils and he's shot. We don't want to show you that moment. Eyewitnesses have said that there was a lot of blood. They saw a lot of blood either coming from his neck or his chest. That part has not been confirmed. Turning Point USA, a spokesperson, has confirmed that he is in the hospital. He is being treated. We have heard from all sides of the political aisles, both sides of the political aisle, I should say, people asking to pray for Charlie Kirk. It is unclear what his condition is right now. I want to bring in our national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent, Tom Winter. Tom, what else do you think investigators are looking at right now? From the eyewitnesses, it sounded like one shot, maybe not from up close, so maybe from far away. Another eyewitness saying the person who was in custody, an elderly person, from some social media videos, it appears had been sort of walking around and canvassing the area. But again, this is a fluid situation.
That's right, Tom. The latest information that we have coming from a university spokesperson is that the individual in custody is not a student. So the individual in custody in connection with this shooting, according to the university who began the initial investigation into this, says that the person in custody is not a student. They also say that this shooting happened from a center that's located approximately 200 yards away. That's well within the accuracy of any semi-automatic rifle, Tom. The question now is if, in fact, that is what the ballistics ultimately show, or did they recover a weapon from that location? The FBI and ATF are already at the scene. They're going to be involved potentially in this investigation, certainly have provided their resources as well. That information coming officially from the ATF and from the FBI Director Kash Patel. So that's the information that we have as far as where the investigation is. They're definitely combing through the past history and contacts with this individual with law enforcement. There has been some speculation online and some focusing on this individual, since there is video of the person in custody, matching that up with some images that are online of a person who is from that area, the general Utah area, and whether or not that person has been involved in protests or things in the past. Again, that's information that is still being looked at by investigators. We do not have a name that we can confirm or report at this time. And just because somebody's taken into custody, I've done this far too often. There's a number of people that sometimes can be taken, excuse me, into custody and then turn out that they actually have somebody else that's ultimately arrested and charged with the crime. You want to obviously go after anybody who's suspicious initially in the course of these investigations. So that's the latest that we have on this right now. They'll obviously go through social media posts from whoever they think might be responsible for it. And then at some point, obviously, there'll be formal charges that have been filed. But certainly the university feels confident in saying that the person that they believe is responsible for this, they had the campus police that was there and assigned to protect this event, that they believe that the individual who's responsible is in custody. And to recap, Tom, is not a student. All this in the background of what has been a really horrific year and a half now of political and targeted violence, 2 assassination attempts on then candidate, now President of the United States, Donald Trump. We've had targeted shootings of CEOs and of office buildings here in New York City. Obviously, the attempted or the actual arson attack on Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and his family. They were fortunately not harmed in that incident. We had the shooting of Minnesota lawmakers and the targeted attacks there just within the last couple of months. We've also seen attacks against a group of individuals who are supporting and protesting and out in support of the hostages taken by Hamas in Israel. They were attacked with a Molotov cocktail. So this has been a very difficult last 24 months, and something that law enforcement, federal, state, local, all very much paying attention to. Today, something that's been the focus of a lot of their work, trying to get a handle on how this is happening and why it's happening. But the big concern, Tom, is that this is happening now with greater frequency and obviously going to make it very difficult to protect these type of events.
Tom Winter, we thank you. Stand by for us. If you're just joining our coverage again, we are covering the assassination attempt on conservative activist Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. It happened earlier this afternoon. He was speaking on his tour. You can see here under the tent, the American Comeback Tour. We're not showing the moment that he was shot. It was a single shot from eyewitnesses, striking him either in the neck or the chest. Eyewitnesses saying there was a lot of blood there. He is a conservative activist who is very close to the Trump family. He worked for Don Jr. He also launched Turning Point USA, a very powerful political organization on the right, speaking at both the RNC in 2016 and, of course, just this past summer. We have a statement now from Don Jr. who says Charlie Kirk is one of the finest humans I know. Everyone, please lift him and his family up in prayer. The president saying as well, we must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him. This is another statement here from the school saying UVU campus is closed. Classes are canceled. Those on campus secure in place until police officers can escort you safely off campus. We ask for your patience throughout this process. We are providing updates as best as possible. This is an ongoing and unfolding event. Again, Charlie Kirk shot on the campus of UVU earlier this afternoon, taken to the hospital right now. His status is unknown, but politicians, especially on the right, but also the left, asking for people to pray for him. Pretty much every single cabinet member has come out and posted something on social media asking for prayers for both Charlie and his family. I do want to bring in our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie Jackson. And Hallie, as we talk about this assassination attempt, right, on a political activist, you know, Charlie Kirk was not somebody who had been elected. He had never held office, but he was so powerful on the right, and he made sure to be a vocal advocate for President Trump wherever he went.
And President Trump noticed that, and he knew that, and he knew who Charlie Kirk was. He's known who Charlie Kirk was since he first, Tom, when you and I were both covering that 2016 campaign of then candidate Trump. Charlie Kirk was there fighting for the president, who obviously ultimately became the president, to the point where just recently you've seen the president call Charlie Kirk a fighter. He's referenced what he calls his army of young people here. He's called him, just in the last 6 months or so, a special talent, saying he is out there fighting for the Trump agenda and for the president and his administration. He is close with not just the president, but with the Trump family more broadly here. You read, of course, the reaction that we are just getting in from Donald Trump Jr., from Eric Trump, for example. We are also hearing from him saying that Charlie Kirk is a great friend and an amazing person. You see it here. Eric Trump goes on to say, the president's son, that his family will be praying for him, his wife, Erica, and their 2 children. Again, 2 kids, 2 toddlers, essentially, at this point. You talk about the range of reactions on the political spectrum, obviously on the conservative side. But we are also hearing from, for example, Gabby Giffords, herself a victim of political violence, saying she is horrified to hear that Charlie Kirk was shot, saying democratic societies will always have political disagreements, but we must never allow America to become a country that confronts those disagreements with violence. And I will tell you, Tom, in just the last 30 seconds ago, we also heard from former Vice President Kamala Harris, of course, the political opponent of President Trump's in this past election, saying that I'm going to read this to you. I don't know if we have it built yet. Here it is. She says, I am deeply disturbed by the shooting in Utah. She says she and her husband, Doug, send their prayers to Charlie Kirk and his family. And she goes on to also condemn political violence, saying it has no place in America. Tom Winter ran through that litany, unfortunately, of political violence that has happened in this country over the past several years, relaying his reporting, of course, of concerns that this is escalating. And when you talk about somebody like Charlie Kirk, Tom, you talk about his social media reach. His team says that every month he reaches something like 100 million people online. He's got a voice, he's got a megaphone, and now there are so many people, not just in this country, but presumably around the world, who are watching for any information about his condition, Tom.
Yeah, Hallie Jackson for us. Hallie, we appreciate that. We are getting an update now from the school, an important update. This is a spokesperson for Utah Valley University saying that they confirmed Kirk, the suspect who fired at Charlie Kirk, fired from the Lucy Center or the Losi Center, a building about 200 yards away. The suspect had been taken into custody and is not a student. There are some videos circulating on social media that we are trying to clear of the suspect in custody, and we'll bring that to you as soon as we get it. Tom Winter, if you're still with us, we now have confirmation that this was not an attack from up close. We had heard this from eyewitnesses. It sounded like the shot came from behind the crowd. We're now talking about 200 yards away. From what we know about guns, long guns, and the type of sort of attack this could have been, what can we glean now from the 200-yard distance?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Tom, based on that distance, that's well within the range of any sort of semi-automatic rifle. That's not something that's something that would be on the typical range of somebody using a handgun, but for the type of weapons that would be easily purchasable in Utah, and frankly, many states in this country, without a lot of effort, would be well within range of that distance. So nothing sticks out to me. If it was 700-800 yards, something like that, I would say, okay, well, that would point to a level of proficiency that, frankly, we just never see. So, but at that yardage and distance, that's not something that would be surprising that a common weapon and, frankly, somebody with any sort of practice could be able to hit something from that far away. I do want to put an asterisk on all of this. You know, the only information we're getting here, Tom, is coming from university officials, and I don't happen to work with this university and don't have any contacts there, cover mostly the eastern U.S., but we're not getting anything official from the FBI. We're not getting anything official from our state and local partners that we regularly interact with, neither myself nor my colleague Andrew Blankstein, who covers the West Coast. So that distance of 200 yards, you know, that's where, unless somebody says that's where they found shell casings or a weapon that was left behind, I do want to say it is still early in the investigation.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Same thing that I mentioned before with the suspect in custody. You know, I just a couple of minutes ago, I cautioned that I've seen many incidents where somebody is initially taken into custody, only it turns out that individual is not the one who's ultimately charged. So we're still waiting to get more details from officials. We have not yet had a briefing from the school. And so once we get some of that information, I think it'll shed a lot more light on it. It's just the traditional, you know, this incident is not yet or just approximately 2 hours old. Just a lot of caution on the initial reports here as we get them.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We're also not getting a lot of reporting on his status at the hospital. We just know that he was rushed to the hospital. An eyewitness told us it takes about 5 minutes to get there from that university. This is the largest public university in Utah, and that he was being treated there, but there have been no other updates. The vice president said in another tweet to pray for Charlie Kirk in his darkest hour. Again, eyewitnesses describing a lot of blood and that he has lost. It was Vice President J.D. Vance I was talking about. It was another tweet that he just put out. But a lot of blood they had seen. They had seen him recoil. They're not sure if he was shot in the chest or the neck, but it was somewhere up there. And our law enforcement analyst, Rob D'Amico, said it is very tough, not impossible, but a very tough gunshot wound to sort of bounce back. That concludes this NBC News special report. We're going to have much more ahead on our streaming network, NBC News Now. We thank you for watching. I'm Tom Llamas.
There we go. That was a very abrupt ending there, but I'm going to run through what we know so far in case you missed any of that special report. Again, conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, speaking at an event at Utah Valley University, was shot while speaking at an event. We heard that it was during a Q&A with the students in attendance there. The shooter is in custody. They say that it's not a student at this university. The latest report that they had said that they fired from a building about 200 yards away from where Kirk was speaking. The ATF and FBI are on scene. There's no confirmed identity of the shooter at this time. Again, they're still working on finding a lot more information on this incident. Still very young, still developing. We're going to follow this as it develops on our networks here at Valley News Live. Be sure to stay tuned. Download the Valley News Live app. Follow us on Facebook for the latest updates on this as it continues to develop. We'll keep you posted there. But for now, for Valley News Now, I'm Devin Fry.